All right, so you're welcome back, and all thanks to Story Moja, because they're the reason, that Dr. Alma Obama is in Ghana. They're the reason we've gotten to meet her. So we're discussing Story Moja next, what this is, and my guests remain, Dr. Alma Obama hasn't taken leave of us, she's here, but I also have Muthoni Garland. She's a festival founder, and then next to me is Afechi Awuno, who's also a founder and director of Story Moja. So it's a pleasure, having the two of you. Thank you so much for bringing it to Ghana.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
What is Story Moja?
All right, Story Moja, the words mean one story. So Moja is one in Kiswahili.
Okay.
And the inspiration for it came from our need to tell our stories. And we tell our stories one at a time.
Our own way.
In our own way.
Yeah.
And we don't talk enough about the issues that are affecting us. And so we wanted to create a platform that celebrates African literature, African writers, that explores the African narrative in different cultural and creative forms.
Yes.
So we've had the Story Moja Festival now. This will be the eighth time that we've had it. But we've had
8th edition of Story Moja.
Yes. So there've been 7 in Nairobi, and this is the first time we've taken it out of Nairobi and brought it to Ghana, to Accra, and it will be this coming weekend. And I just want to say, when what inspired our coming into Ghana was when the late Kofi Awuna passed away. During the Westgate siege, he'd come for the Story Moja Festival. He was our lead guest that year, and very unfortunately ended up being in this mall where the terrorist attack happened. And when he passed away, it was incredibly difficult, because as festival organizers, in some way you feel a bit of guilt, that we brought him there. But on the other hand, he'd had a session, a masterclass that he'd led the day before, and in the masterclass, it's as if he foretold what would happen, but also really challenged us that the next generation, you really need to drive this legacy forward. We need to create a much more literate and engaged Africa. We need to inspire the next generation to want to read. And the only conversation that I had with him, and I've been such a fan of his poetry for many years, the only conversation I had with him was just during the press conference right at the beginning. And in that press conference, after it ended, I walked with him for just a short distance before I got distracted by other pressing concerns, how it is when you're an organizer. But in that very short distance, he said to me, "I am thrilled to see thousands of children here.
Amazing.
This is so important that that writers get to meet them. They get inspiration from creative actors and understand how important creativity is, understand how important the written word is, understand how important it is to discuss African ideas with African people, African role models who really value knowledge and value ideas. So we're thrilled to say our first festival outside of Kenya is in Ghana.
Yes, absolutely.
Which we think is his legacy to
rightly
us.
so. Yes, and Afechi Awuno is the late Professor Awuno's son, and it's as if he actually gave his life for this cause. He sacrificed himself for this cause. And so what do you bring to Story Moja?
Well, for me personally, or for everybody that has been part of the team, as a team, is you feel a sense of pride, and everybody feels a cause to deliver something. Motoni mentioned a Story Moja means one story, and as Africans, we don't only share one story. We are one people. We are one blood. So I was saying to them, Moja in Akan means blood.
It's actually blood.
And they were like, wow. I said, yes. So we don't only share one story as Africans, but we are one people. We are one blood. So that's something very significant we need to build.
No, I think this is a phenomenal idea. I think this is a phenomenal concept you're working on, especially where such a high rate of illiteracy in this part of the world. Not too long ago, I spoke to people who were distributing books in rural Ghana, and I mentioned that there was a survey conducted in some basic schools, and it was found out that we had about 50% of the pupils not being able to read or write, and then the other 50 who could actually read could only string the letters together but could not make sense of the words they were reading. How does Story Moja address this issue?
It seeks to create a platform. First of all, it seeks to create a platform for up-and-coming writers to meet the seasoned professionals in the industry and sort of pick mentors, like to groom them and learn from them, emulate them. So it helps. You have writers like Nana Sase, like Osodo Kante, who are very good in their craft. But I will tell you for a fact, Nana Sase has close relations with Professor Yudoho. So you can see the work in there. You know, some of the conversations with my dad, when he passed, one of the things that hit me most was I thought I hadn't learned enough from him. That was the gap that I was missing. So I find myself, you know, hanging around his peers. I hang around people like Professor Yudoho, Professor Lade Wasunu. I just chat because I feel like I just need to tap in more. And that's why you see me hanging out with
I think what I'd say about the illiteracy as well is that this is why Story Moja is doing the work we're doing, because we've reduced learning to something academic that is not related to creative reading and writing. And reading and writing requires you to have books. The people you invited who are distributing books, we're going to send the books to the young people. But we realize in our rural areas, these books, these words put together is what enables learning. And we need to change our mindset around what we consider being literate is. Just putting a child in a school is not enough. You must give those children books. You must make them read, not just I hope they will read, make them read, teach them the culture of reading as a lifestyle. I mean, that is something, Fetsi was telling me how his dad used to make them read books, make them review books. And this is what we have to do as parents, as well as institutions that are teaching these children. It is not correct that our young people have no voice, because if you don't have words to use to learn, you have no voice. You have nothing to say. And the majority, if you're talking about those 50 young people, those children who couldn't read and write, they have no voice. They cannot express. It doesn't matter how bright you are, how intelligent you are. It's like putting a football team on the pitch without a football.
Fantastic analogy. So when is Story Moja? Details about this?
So Story Moja starts from, it's going to be at the Du Bois Center. It kicks off on Wednesday, the 21st of September, which is the day Kofi Awano passed, with a memorial lecture in his honor at the Kempinski. It starts from 6:30 till about 9 p.m. Then the festival continues at the Du Bois Center from Thursday to Saturday. It starts at 11 a.m. each day. Throughout the evening, we have a series of master classes with seasoned people.
We get to meet our favorite writers.
We get to meet our favorite writers. Emeritus Professor Nketia, for example.
You get to read.
You get to read.
Read aloud.
They read aloud sessions with people like Manifest, Amake. And then people look at them and they think, oh, just a musician. But no, they're really more to them. There's more intelligence.
Thank you so much. I am there. I definitely would be there. Yes, I will be there.
Welcome. And it's programming for children as well. So you can come as a family. And plenty of storytelling and dance and workshops.
I can't wait. So. Thank you so much. Muthoni Garland is the founder of the Story Moja Festival, and then, Dr. Alma Obama. I don't know which to say first, or the sister to the U.S. President Barack Obama, or founder director of the Sauti Cool Foundation. And then there's also Afechi Awono, who is the festival director. Thank you so much for passing by. Pleasure having the three of you. All right, so watching New Day.